So prior to moving to the first action item, I've got a brief statement to share. After careful deliberation, this board is meeting today to terminate Superintendent Earnest Winston's contract, exercising the contract's termination for convenience clause. We have not arrived here easily. It has been a difficult decision to end the contract with an individual whom we hold in such high regard. Earnest Winston cares deeply for CMS, for our students, our employees, and our community, and he has given his all in his 18 years in this district, especially these last 3 years as superintendent. And he is a good man, and nobody can dispute this. As a new superintendent, he persevered through the cataclysmic COVID-19 pandemic in what has proven to be the most difficult chapter in the history of public education in the United States. However, we believe that a different leader is needed to shore up this district and place our students on track to achieve high goals in literacy, math, and career and college readiness. Student outcomes are what matters most. We are confident this decision is the right one at the right time for the CMS staff, the community, and most important, the students. So while he is not the leader for the future of CMS, we acknowledge his character and his skills, and we thank him for his service. So before I turn to Rhonda Cheek, she's going to make this motion. Before I turn to her for the motion, I'm just going to share the rules of engagement for today. When she'll speak to her motion, and then we will each have 60 seconds to speak to each motion, and I'm going to go by order of districts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at large, vice chair, and then me. So with that, Ms. Cheek, please.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, in accordance with Superintendent Earnest Winston's contract as amended July 1st, 2021, I move to terminate Mr. Winston's contract for convenience, effective immediately. Per the terms of Mr. Winston's contract, my motion authorizes severance payments of $24,033.33 per month for a period of 24 months in accordance to the North Carolina General Statute 115C-271. The funds to pay this severance will come from the board's fund balance.
Okay, would you like to speak to that?
I would like to speak to the motion. Of all the responsibilities of a school board, our greatest responsibility is to ensure the academic success for all our students. Oh, we need a second.
Oh, we need a second.
Sorry.
Do we have a second?
Second. Of all the responsibilities of a school board, our greatest responsibility is to ensure the academic success for all of our students. But the heaviest burden is our role in hiring, supporting, and in some cases, removing the superintendent. That is where we find ourselves today. We hired a good man and have supported his leadership journey in many ways for the past 2.5 years, but now we must move forward on a different path. As we have heard many times in the last year, student outcomes cannot change until adult behavior changes. I thank Mr. Winston for his service and wish him the best in future endeavors, and I look forward to what the future holds for CMS under new leadership. Thank you.
All right. So Mr. Jeter will raise his hand if we get to 60 seconds. So Dr. Jones, would you like to speak to this motion?
I see that this has been a spectacle ramrodded by Elise Dashew that was not thoughtful nor aimed to be productive for this district of 74% minority children, and certainly not respectful of this superintendent who has worked arduously during this unusual circumstance. Long-term serving superintendents across this country have resigned or retired, yet Ms. Dashew met with and listened to and ramrodded the termination of Mr. Winston, get this, for convenience, not cause. I say the convenience being that of the shiny shoe people, the people of influence who want to project an image that sells or spotlights the affluence that Charlotte offers. I emphasize the term convenience, a legal term, because no cause another legal term could be established. Change in leadership sets us back.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sawyer?
Thank you. I approach this decision with a heavy heart. My respect for Earnest Winston does not preclude me from reaching a decision that new leadership is required. Navigating this separation has been made more difficult and hurtful by board members willfully violating the board's code of conduct by releasing confidential personnel information. In some cases, board members have delivered false and misleading information about my position. I can speak for myself and will when appropriate and not in violation of the board's code of conduct or ethics. Thank you.
Ms. Marshall, do you have any comments?
Yes, Madam Chair. I can hold two things in my heart and head simultaneously. I can have deep respect and gratitude toward Earnest Winston, and at the same time, know that we need new leadership to move us in the direction of meeting the needs and aspirations of our students. Our job as a board is to ensure that there is leadership in place to achieve student success, even when it is difficult to do. I support this motion.
Mr. Strain?
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, in looking at this, I was reflecting on our retreat almost a year ago, April 30th. Last year, we were having our first day retreat on student outcomes-focused governance. And Ernest made the statement that he wanted his legacy to be one of elimination of achievement and opportunity gap between all subgroups of students. Unfortunately, that's not where we are. Where we are is that gap has widened. A year ago, I said this board could not separate the performance of the district from that of the superintendent. And that's what we're doing today, is looking at the performance of the district and that of the superintendent. We also have a growing list of federal and state compliance issues, including conscious violations, as well as board policy and his own regulation compliance issues. That being said, whilst I've advocated for termination for cause,
No,
I believe that case to be sound. I will support the motion the board has taken to terminate for convenience.
Okay. And let's be sure we keep this germane to the topic. Ms. Shipp?
This is an unfortunate situation, a no-win. I thank Superintendent Winston for his hard and dedicated work, and I respect all that he's done for the district. I have seen now over the months that much confidence has been lost in the leadership from the top down. For me, this is not just about black or white. It is about doing what is right for all our children in CMS, a focus on what's best for all children. As a former principal and a teacher, I know this is a difficult time where we are right now today, but we can't go backwards. We can't stand still. We must move forward, and I must have the courage to be uncomfortable with this difficult decision in a time like this, in this season.
Ms. Ilahara. A change in leadership is always a hard decision. The Board of Education's decision to separate from Superintendent Earnest Winston is painfully difficult because all of us on the board recognize what a principled, ethical, kind, and loyal person Mr. Winston is. He cares about our kids, all of them, as a parent, a leader, and a member of our community. Upcoming action items from the board that the board will take momentarily will further explain how we arrived at this decision. I also want to be very clear that despite certain radical political forces taking a victory lap that they made this happen, that no one, no parent group, no faith-based group have led me to my decision today. The facts will speak for themselves, and I'm astonished that others are celebrating right now when it has nothing to do with you.
Ms. Byers-Bailey?
This is a sad day for me. I have been supportive of Ernest from the very beginning, and I fully believe that we as a board have no right to require anything other than the best a person has to offer. If that is insufficient, then that is a decision that we have to make. But Ernest gave us his best, and I don't believe this decision serves him in his best interest. Thank you.
All right. Okay, with that, we've got a motion on the floor from Ms. Cheek, a second from Ms. Sawyer. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hands. All those opposed? So that passes 7-2, Madam Clerk. So what's going to happen now is we're going to go into closed session, and then we're going to come back for 3 more votes. So just sit tight. I'm going to read this motion to go into close, then we're going to leave the room, and we'll be back as soon as we finish that business. So the chair will entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to sections 143, 318, 11, A1, A3, and A6 of the North Carolina General Statutes to prevent the disclosure of personnel information that is privileged, confidential, and not a public record as set forth in sections 115C319 and 115C321 of the North Carolina General Statutes, to consider specific personnel matters, and to consult with our attorneys about matters covered by the attorney-client privilege. Is there such a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion from Ms. De La Hara, second from Ms. Sawyer. All in favor, please raise your hands. Any opposed? Okay, so we are in closed session. We'll be back